Good morning, everyone. My name is Isabel, and with me is my colleague Christoph, Anina, Tommy, and Martina from the Digital Ter-X project. That is a project on the construction sector. So we are going to follow the agenda, and to make most of our time, we will give some presentation on the construction industry challenges and key issues. Then we will present what we believe is a transformative solution for this sector, and that is our project. Then we show some benefits for either the participants and the stakeholders of this sector. So we are a consortium that involves Gaia-X national hubs coming from Portugal, France, Finland, and Slovakia. We also have 3 building smart chapters coming from France, Portugal, and Finland. And we have also a set of companies from Portugal, big companies in the construction sector, that is DST. We are also with OASC, Open Agile Smart Cities, and we have the academic side in this consortium of University of Aveiro and the Graphical Computation Center from Portugal. So what are the most challenging issues that face our construction industry? Well, with an impressive turnover of 2.1 trillion euros, there are some operational issues that constrain this sector and can act as a barrier. So we have, first of all, the high initial investment costs on digital tools and on technologies, and this can be an obstacle for small and medium enterprises because they only want to invest or upfront invest if there is an immediate return on investment, and that return on investment is very clear. Otherwise, they do not will invest. Then we have also a large range of digital skills that are required. For instance, the building information modeling and geographical information systems integration is something that could put an obstacle because not every companies, not every workers have the ability to know advanced digital tools and technologies and access to training on that. Also, construction sector is a very traditional sector, and it's and there is a way of working on small companies that is very difficult to change. So they will be very hesitant to change their workflows and their process during the time of working. And then the business-to-business market in construction is very complex. In most construction contracts, there is no direct relationship between who is doing the construction job and the hyperscaler. So it will be very difficult to be compliant for small companies with Digital Act and Digital Governance Act. Otherwise, if there is no one pushing it, they will not be compliant with this as EC wants to. Exacerbating all these issues, the construction sector is transversal, is very horizontal in their nature. So it interfaces with or interacts with several other sectors, mobility, logistics, energy, to say a few. Then we have a very diverse set of players on this sector, from very small companies to huge multinational ones, and that is something that will embat on the digital maturity levels. Also, discontinuous workflows. There are new stakeholders and new process that are putting into project stage in different phases of the construction project. So they can cause digital breakdowns because they have short-term contracts of 3 to 5 years, and the construction process and project will end after 50 or more than 50 years. So this kind of differences will have data losses, will have data fragmentation, and so it will have bad quality of data that turns on costs from that kind of value. 1.8 trillion US dollars globally. This is data from 2021. So these are the main challenges we had identified. However, when there are problems, naturally there are also opportunities, and we think that we can come with a transformative solution for these kind of challenges, and that is digital Ter-X. Digital Ter-X means digital territories. The X come from Gaia-X, and 2015 because the neutral emissions that we aimed. Gaia-X is an endorsed project. Digital Ter-X is a Gaia-X endorsed project, so it's a qualified project, and it wants to establish an European framework for the construction data space, enabling secure, transparent, and trustfully data sharing between all the construction stakeholders, and not only on the construction stakeholders, but also with other data spaces that can interface with the construction sector, as we saw before. So we have our idea is to have digital Ter-X at two levels, national level and European level. At each national level, we will have digital Ter-X acting as a strategic intermediary and also as a technical, with a technical role. So, acting as a strategic intermediary, we will act as a neutral intermediary in the market. So, we will create value by having a set of services that could be used by all the stakeholders, and we will have an independent and unified governance. That is what SMEs need to enter this kind of market. Also, we will enforce the compliance with EU data regulations, namely Data Act, Data Governance Act, and the Artificial Intelligence Act, and the Net Zero Industry Act. So SMEs will in fact be compliant with these kind of regulations because they are part of digital Ter-X. And also it will promote standardization and conformity with several standards, namely this ISO 19650 standard that will promote interoperability between all the stakeholders that act at a national level. Coming to European level, we will have Gaia-X as an actor, also a player that will enable to provide federated interoperability between all. Also, we have Gaia-X at national level, but also provide federation between all these data spaces, and also with other data spaces that could be providing data that could be useful to have some applications and products either on the high level of digital Ter-X. So it will be a strategic one, taking Gaia-X as also an entity able to provide trust between all these stakeholders and all of these data spaces. Of course, that we will be compliant with what is provided by the European Commission, namely what is coming, and we are aligned with Simple, and also following the guidance of Data Space Support Center. So we will implement a robust technical framework based on a catalog of standardized services that are already ready to be used. And these services also we can name them system use cases. There are a set of system use cases that could be used and reused by several business cases. So we can say that with a set of system use cases, we can build all the business use cases that we want. And this is an add value for Digital Ter. So we can reuse several of these services. And as a proof of concept, we will want to provide some examples of business use cases, namely the cavities monitoring. That is a use case that is running in France. The Portuguese one, that is digital twin inside and outside the building. So inside the building, very much relate with energy, because they want to create a digital twin of a smart building, providing energy efficiency optimization and making some renewable energy to combat exactly the climate changes, and also as a building in the territory with the context, with a different context on a smart city, where they measure the flows of the persons, the flows of the vehicles, and they can merge everything else. We also have other use cases that has to do here in Finland with the digitalization of the supply chain and logistics, as well in Slovakia with a project that is working on 5 use cases. One of them has to do with the life cycle management and the end part of demolition. So our project will align with all those initiatives that are present here. We'll take into consideration all the standards. Will help to develop also new standards that will help to bring this unified world, and it facilitates the integration of several and diverse sources. Just to present a little bit of the construction business, we have here the 4 countries. Portugal is working on one of the major recovery and resilience project. That investment is more than 177 million euros, and has to do with the construction, the green construction in modular systems. The leader is one of our partners of this consortium, is the DST Group. In Finland, we have the supply chain digitalization, and that is running a project on this fact. Slovakia already mentioned this rebuild project that is working also in the construction system. So we have a community of stakeholders running on construction. And in France, we have the more advanced use case that concerns cavities, where we can see several entities, several stakeholders, all with their data and all with connectors to the digital Ter-X that will make the governance of all this system and will make available and updated all the data that is required to have this project on rails.